Hello guys, welcome you today 8th session of Pandas. So I have created this IPYNB file by the name day8.ipynb file. Now, today I am going to discuss changing the index of a data frame. Now, first of all, what we should do, we should import these two libraries. Then I will read this dataset, nutrition.dataset, and let's print few records, top 5 records from this dataset. Everything is fine here. This is something not at all new to you guys. Now, see, our data frame currently consists of an integer based index. This is the index, which is integer based index. So if you take a look at this record, this is immediately obvious when you will look at this index. So if you write simply, if I write here nutrition dot index, what I will get? I will get this index. And this index goes from 0 to 8788. And this is an index consists of 64-bit integers, which in Pandas is also represented as int64 index. And let's say if I check the type of this, let's check the type of this type. What I'm getting? I will get this as an index. Fine. And this is actually quite similar to the range index object that we saw in the series sections. In fact, the range index we have seen previously is simply a special case of int64 index that we have now. It is a more optimized version of int64 index that allows us to define the entire sequence using a start, stop, and a step size. In other words, we can say the range index is reserved for equally spaced. Let me first write this. If I write pd dot range index, range range index, then we have to write start value. Let's put a start is equal to 0, comma. Then I have to put the stop value. Let's put a stop value 8789, comma 8789. I'm putting this value. And then step. Here, step size, I'm putting as 1. So if you will run this, you will get this thing. So that's what I'm telling you. Range index is reserved for equally spaced monotonic sequences in Pandas. And we could create our own range index as this is the way. So if you will check this, we have already checked this nutrition index. If you will check this again, what you will get? You will get the same thing. Now let's do one thing. What I want, if you put nutrition dot index is equal to pd dot range index that we have just now created, range index. Same thing. Let's just copy this thing and paste it here. That would be a good idea. Paste it here. So that means in this nutrition.index, this is the type of this index. I'm assigning these index that I have created, this range index. And let's run it. Now again, if you will check the type of this nutrition index, you can see the difference. Can you see? Earlier I was getting this index. Now I am getting indexes, range index. Fine. Now the most important question here is that I'm going to write that what if we want to change this index? What if I want to change this index, or you can say this index, from a series of integers to something else? Let me write here. What if we want to change this index from a SERIS series of integers to something else. Question. So that's what we are going to discuss right now. So first, before discussing, let me show it to you. For changing the index, there is one method called set_index. So right now you can see my index is 0, 1, 2, 3, 4. This is my index. Now let's say I want to set this name column as my index. So in place of 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, I want this name column. Cornstarch, nuts, pecans, whatever is written inside this column. So for that, what I need to do? I need to do this nutrition dot set underscore index. Here, can you see set underscore index? And inside that, I have to pass the name of the column which I want to set as my index. So here I want to set my column name itself is the name. So that's fine. So I want to do this. And if I will run this, what will happen? Let's see. Let's see what is going to happen. Can you see? So we get a new data frame here that has name as the index. That has this new data frame has name as my index. And this is one of those methods that returns a copy. So the underlying data frame is not modified. If we want to modify the underlying data frame, what I need to do? I have to set the in place parameter to be true. Let's say if you will access this nutrition dataset, you will again get the original dataset because the thing has not yet. So if I want to make this changes permanent, what I need to do? I have to write, let's say, after this name, I have to write in place is equal to true. I have to write this in place parameter to be true. So let's run it. Now again, let's access this nutrition dataset at nutrition.head. I don't want the entire dataset, so let's. Now this changes has become a permanent. So you must have understood this, how we can set any column to our, how you can set any other, what we have, what if we want to change this index from a series of integers to something else. So we can change the index position. Now, there's a couple of other parameters that this set index method supports. And one of the default parameter that is called drop. So So which this default, there is a one default parameter called drop parameter, which indicates whether the column being set as the new index should be removed from the resulting data frame. Let's first see with the help of code, then you are going to understand this. Let's say this time I want to set, this is my, this time I want to set this folic acid, let's say, as my index. So in place of name, this folic acid should come. This is what it means to be. And I want to put this, and there is a, so first one by one, let's see. So first of all, let's write in nutrition, then write this set underscore index, set index underscore index. Then first write the name of the column which you want to use at, which you want to see as your index. So here I want to see my folic acid, F-O-L-I-C, folic underscore acid as my index. Thereafter, there is one column, there's one thing called, there's one parameter called drop. So by default, this drop parameter, I suppose, is false. But let's say if you put this drop parameter to be true, what will happen? This is one parameter. So this, if you put this drop parameter to be true, what will happen? The column, which is this folic column, which this folic acid column, which will be set as the new index, should be removed from the resulting data frame. That means it is removed from here when you set this drop parameter to be true. If you, that means it is getting, this folic acid is set as an index and it is getting dropped from the column level. But when you put this drop index false, that means now this folic acid will be set as my index, but it is not getting dropped from my column. So it will be present in the column. So let's see. Let's first run it, then you will have an understanding of this. So let's run this. Can you see, first thing is that this folic acid is set as my index, and you cannot find this folic acid in the column because it is dropped, because I have put this drop parameter to be true. Now, let's put this drop parameter to be false. F-A-L-S-E, false. Now run it. Can you see? This folic acid is set as my index, but it is also present in my column level. This folic acid. This time it has not been dropped. So this is the function of this drop parameter. Now, there is one another parameter called append parameter. Let's look at this parameter. What is this parameter is all about? Append parameter. So what this append parameter is? Append parameters gives, first of all, let me write. First, let's write nutrition dot set index. And let's say I want to set this folic acid as my index. Fine. And I want to, let's say, put this drop is equal to false. That is, this folic acid is not going to drop from my column level. It will be present here. After that, there is one index called append. And let's say if I put my append is equal to true, T-R-U-E, true. You can put append as true or you can put append as false. So what will happen? First of all, let's see one thing. let's first do one thing here. When I am writing this nutrition dot, let's say head, what I am getting. First of all, let's see. My name is the index here. The index of this data frame is this name column. This is my index level. Now, what I am doing, I am writing set index as folic acid. So now folic acid will be set as my index instead of this name. And I am using this drop parameter false. So it will also be present in my column. Fine. Now there is one term called append is equal to true. So this append gives us the option of appending a new index to the existing index. This append index gives us the option of appending a new index to the existing index. So here, if we append folic acid, to the existing index, we want to use this folic acid. My existing index is my name index. This is my name index. And I want to set folic acid to the index, but here I am putting this append parameter to be true. So if we append folic acid to the existing index, we end up with what's in Pandas is known as multi-index. Let's run it, then you will understand. Let's first run this. So can you see? Now my index part contains two indexes. One is the name index and one folic acid. These are the index. Because I have selected append parameter to be true. So what I told you, if we append folic acid to this existing index, we end up with what's known in Pandas as multi-index. So this is an index which has multiple levels, right? In this case, we have name and folic acid. And we will talk much more details about this indices and multi-dimensional data sets in a future section. But here, let's restrict the output to the first 5. That would be a better. So let's put here .HEAD head. So fine. So that this becomes more manageable. Fine. Now, there is one more parameter. But yes, let me just discuss this parameter also inside this set index. So there is one more parameter called verify integrity. So let's first write this, then I will explain you. Just I'm copying this, just copy all these things and paste it here, remove this thing. Now, append is equal to true, fine. After that, there is one parameter called verify integrity. And let's say if you put it false. I will also explain you what will happen if you put this parameter true. First, say this false. What will happen? So this parameter verify integrity is a parameter that allows us to enforce the uniqueness of our index levels. So if we set verify integrity to true, if we set this verify integrity to true, Pandas will check whether the index contains unique values and will throw a value error if it does not. Fine. So let's I'm checking this first by putting it false. Everything fine here? Nothing wrong? Now, if let's say instead of this, that means this folic acid that we have set, it has an index right now. This is all this is having the verify integrity here is fine because I have set it to false. Now let's do one thing. There's one column called calories. Let's see calories. So let's do one thing. I'm writing nutrition dot calories, and then write value counts. If you do this, what will happen? You are getting counts of different calories counts. 884 calories having 78 counts. So this shows that there is no uniqueness in the value because the value is repeating several times here. So why I have picked this column? Because I have picked this calories column because this is something that is bound to have non-unique values. That's why I picked this calories column. So the calories sequence of values contains, let's say, 78 instances where the there is 78 instances where the calorie count is exactly 884. And let's try to set this as our index. So setting this index calories, I will set a verify integrity to be true. Here I have set the verify integrity to be false. So now I am going to set my verify integrity to be true. So I'm asking, let's first do this. Let's copy this first, paste it here. Now, instead of this folic acid, let's do one thing. Let's set calories here. Let's set calories. And we know that calories column doesn't have a uniqueness in its value. And let's drop all these things. Let's append, let's simply use this verify integrity. So if I write this verify integrity to be true, let's put true here, TRUE, true. Now let's run this. I am getting an error. Can you see? So what actually happening when I'm setting this index to the calories and I'm setting this verify integrity to be true, basically I'm asking Pandas to confirm that this new index, which is my calorie index, that is being set has a unique values. And so we know that this is not the case. This calorie is not having a unique value. So we expect this to fail. And that's what happening. Our code is not running. Fine. And if you will see the error, what error you are getting? Index as duplicate keys. And the duplicate keys is not allowed. So Pandas is saying that the index has duplicate keys as we expected. This was the set index method that we will use time and again to change the index of our data frame to any columns that we wish. So this is all for the day, guys. Let's save this code. Let's save this code and put it to GitHub. Let's put this code to GitHub. So we have set index level completed. Commit this code. Yes. Fine, guys. So let's enter some commit message. Oh, sync changes. Okay, fine. Fine, guys. So keep studying, keep learning. Meet you in the next session. Till then, take care. Thanks for coming. Bye.